everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So I just picked up a little $40 pellet gun from the store, and apparently this little guy can shoot pellets at 715 feet per second. So today I'm going to use my new chronograph to test that out, and also something I've always wanted to try is to see how fast it shoots when I've replaced the air with helium. So I'm going to be shooting lead pellets through this gun. They weigh about half a gram each. I'm also going to be shooting indoors because the weather outside is not exactly great. Also, I'm going to be pumping the gun 10 times for each shot. That way we got a standard, and that is the maximum for this gun. I'm going to shoot 4 shots with each. That way we can get sort of a statistical average. So here we go, shooting the pure air. 3, 2, 1. The chronograph didn't pick it up. We're gonna have to fix the lighting. All right, now back to me. Okay, so we switched to using incandescent lights because the fluorescent lights were not working with the chronograph. So I've replaced the ring with paper. Let's fire this. Just air, 10 pumps. 3, 2, 1. All right, and we have a number, 625 feet per second. That is quite a bit lower than the speed that the gun says in the instructions, but it could be because of altitude or variations to the gun type. Let's run a few more bullets through it so we can get an average. So I've added this plastic bag covering the gun. This way I can make the atmosphere around the gun helium. That way when I pump it, I'll be pumping in helium. So let's see if this holds. I've already tried it with air. I don't know if it'll hold. Okay, there we go. Atmosphere of mostly helium. There's going to be a little bit of oxygen in there, but if this speeds up the bullet, then we'll know that it's because of the helium. All right, let's set up another camera. Let's see if I can pump this still and load the pellet. Yeah, looks good. I'm sure I can still pump it. Kind of awkward. A bit more helium, so. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, here we go. Helium atmosphere, 10 pumps, firing in 3, 2, 1. Sounded different. I think the velocity is higher. Not by as much as I thought it might be, but it's a number. Let's try this a few more times. Wow, that actually increased a lot. That was just 10, right?
How much is it?
733. I think I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
So after each shot, I've been giving it a little bit of extra helium just to take into account any diffusion of air into the bag or anything like that. And it seems that the velocity of the shells are actually increasing slightly. That must be because there's becoming a greater percentage of helium in here. It's a kind of an interesting thing. So here's the velocity numbers for the air, and here it is for the helium. Here's the average for the helium, and the average from the air, and you can see the helium is quite a bit more than the air was. In fact, I worked it out, and the energy from the helium was 11.5 joules, and from the air, 9.1 on average, with the max on the helium being 12.5, and the max on the air being 9.4. I have to admit that's not as big a difference as I thought it would be, but it is still significant. So now comes the part where I try to explain how this all works. So here's the gun, here's the gas molecules under pressure. Now to show their velocity, let's add tails to them. Their average velocity is the speed of sound. If this is air molecules, that's about 1100 feet per second. Now if I add a bullet and open the pressure chamber so that the gas can escape, the gas molecules, which are bouncing around like little rubber balls, bounce off the bullet, imparting a little bit of momentum to it each time. Now when the bullet is farther down the barrel, it's moving very quickly. In the case of the pellet gun, about 600 feet per second, which means the slower gas molecules have trouble catching up to the bullet. Helium, because the gas particle has a lower mass, but the same energy, it's moving faster, which means that the helium molecule can catch up to the bullet and still impart its momentum, even with the bullet moving at a high speed. This is, of course, how a light gas gun works, except a light gas gun uses much higher pressure, heats up the gas, and uses helium to drive the projectile through a very long barrel, achieving speeds that are near orbital velocity, which is crazy. And I hope to build one of those someday, but until then, see you next time.